To the heroic rescues 10 days after a devastating earthquake leveled parts of Turkey and Syria. The death toll is now approaching 42,000, but after more than 200 hours trapped under the rubble, some are still being found alive. James Longman is in Gaziantep in Turkey with some of those stories. James, it's now been 10 days since this earthquake, and people are still being found alive under the rubble. What are you learning about these rescues?
Well, I mean, it's extraordinary, isn't it, Diane? We see picture after picture after picture. I think yesterday there were 6. Today we heard about even more. The one a lot of people are focused on is Olena Olmaz, who was rescued after 248 hours under the rubble. Pretty extraordinary, 17 years old. But not just extraordinary that she survived all that time, but apparently when rescuers found her, she asked them if they were okay. And she didn't have any broken bones, there's nothing wrong with her kidneys, which after that long without any food and water, you can imagine that in and of itself is a miracle. And she was flown to a hospital in Ankara, but it looks like she's on the mend. And get this, her name, Olena in Arabic means God's favorite, and Olmaz apparently means doesn't die in Turkish. So a lot of people are taking that as just an extraordinary omen, a wonderful story, a lot of hope in an otherwise pretty bleak situation. At her rescue, in fact, after the jubilation of her having been found, rescuers asked people to move away because they were finding so many bodies in the rubble. And that is the overarching story here. Just the number of dead is absolutely extraordinary. And we were at a cemetery yesterday where we saw just the lines of graves, and it just shows you, it just gives you a sense of the scale of the death toll here, and I don't think we're anywhere close to really understanding just how many people have really died. Diane?
Sadly, no, it does seem that way, but great to hear those little bright spots where we can find them, James. A lot of people also weren't necessarily injured or obviously killed by the earthquake, but they are displaced by it. They're now living in camps and makeshift settlements. So what are you seeing there in Gaziantep?
Well, look, 13 million people across Turkey have been affected by this earthquake, not just the thousands of buildings that came down, but the many buildings that are now no longer fit for human habitation. We actually were just up in a village not far from here, up on a hillside. It took us quite a long time to get up there. The roads are demolished, most of the buildings flattened. People up in that village, it took rescuers 3-4 days to get to them. Now just imagine, your home has come down around you, you have family members who have died, their bodies are in your home, it's freezing cold, you don't have food, you don't have water, and people don't get to you for 4 days. So we're only really beginning to understand the true scale of the humanitarian crisis here. The United Nations is trying to get a kind of a plan up and running, 6-month plan to try to help all the many tens of thousands of people who desperately need that help. We were in the epicenter yesterday, and there's a stadium there. 1,000 people are taking shelter there. They're camping, and it's freezing cold. I can tell you at night it gets well below 0 here. It might look sunny, but it is cold here, and people really do need a lot of help. So the United Nations is doing what it can. Situation here in Turkey, kind of easier to access. In Syria, much more difficult, a really complicated situation where aid is often used as a political football. So the United Nations certainly has its aid cut out. Diane?
All right, James Longman in Gaziantep, Turkey, thank you.
Hi everyone, George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel, and don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.